Hi folks, Marina Stroud here. I am your product education lead. Thanks for joining us today and letting us be a part of your educational journey. Please take some time to review our previously recorded beginner and intermediate boot camps found within your help menu. We want to educate members across all Tradesmith products. If you're a newbie, check out Kristen's beginner lessons, and when you feel up to it, you can join the intermediate lessons. A webinar script is included as an excellent reference for each webinar presentation. Attending live, as you know, will provide you with a more interactive one-on-one platform where we answer your questions on the spot. We also have a live webinar Q&A after each presentation. If we're unable to get to your questions, I apologize in advance. However, you can always email us and put it to our attention. All right, so let's check out today's topics. Can you imagine combining technical and fundamental data to get an unbiased rating on a company? Yeah, so that would be fantastic, right? Well, today I'm going to take you on a tour of Ratings by Tradesmith, and we're going to look at the technical and fundamental indicators that determine a stock's overall rating. Our development team recently updated ratings, fundamental data through various quality factors. You have most likely seen these. We're going to review ratings business quality score and your current holdings and new potential opportunities. Before we get started, let's get that disclaimer out of the way, folks. The information we present today and in upcoming tutorials is only for educational purposes. We are not financial advisors and cannot provide individualized advice or recommendations. We are recording today's presentation, so if you missed something, don't worry about it. You'll be able to go back and rewatch it at your convenience. All right, so let's try to focus our questions on today's topic. I can open the floor to all general questions at the end of the presentation. All right, so let's get started. With that, we are going to head to the website. So one moment, please. You should all be seeing my Tradesmith Finance account. Everyone's going to log into their account via finance.tradesmith.com, no matter which product subscription you hold. Also, just keep in mind, I have a platinum subscription, so your site may look different than mine. All right, so while we're here, let's just cover a couple of things here. At the top, you can find your help menu. This is where you will access your educational resources. Your help menu will be tailored according to your subscriptions. Right there at the top, you'll see the customer success team phone number. You can click to expand the folder, right, to review any contents. Just below is a link to schedule a concierge appointment. That's a 30-minute one-on-one session with an agent to kind of review any questions you have or get a walkthrough of the program. Great for my newbies. Take full advantage of this. And if we scroll down, you'll bump into our Tradesmith boot camps and video tutorials. Upcoming registrations will be posted here within this link. You can also find the beginner, intermediate, and how-to videos within this drop-down menu. All right. Please refer to today's script for more details on the help menu. All right, so we are going to tour ratings. Let's start by searching for a stock. So here at the top right, where you see search for ticker, we're going to search for a stock. I'm going to go ahead and search for Medtronic, ticker MDT. So I'll select it from the drop-down menu. And the position card page is going to display the stock ratings for any long US or foreign stocks that you track. So I searched for Medtronic. This is a healthcare stock that develops, manufactures, and sells device-based medical therapies to healthcare systems, physicians, and patients worldwide. Now, if you're not familiar with Medtronic, you can go to the company profile tab here. and it provides you with information about the company. And in most cases, you'll see even a link to their website. All right, so we're going to focus here, start here at the very top. You're going to see this visual speedometer that assigns a rating of either strong bearish, bearish, neutral, bullish, or strong bullish. And Medtronic has an overall rating of a strong bullish. Now, this score is considering technical and fundamental indicators that we're going to review in just a moment. But before we jump into the specifics of Medtronic's ratings, let's review the indicators that you're going to see when you click the left or right arrows. So I know it's a little faded or faint, but there's left and right arrows. It doesn't matter which one you click to pull up our current indicators. So we're going to see that Medtronic is in the green zone. It recently triggered a new entry signal and has been in the green zone for approximately 1 month. So we can check out the chart to review this. If I click the chart tab and let me scroll down just a bit, you'll see the green E bubble there. That indicates a new health indicator entry signal. Now, the health indicator, or you may know it as our green, yellow, red light system, tells you if a stock is in a healthy condition according to how the price moves relative to its volatility quotient and its trend. Now, it's ideal. I picked Medtronic on purpose. I did a screener search for stocks that recently triggered an entry signal that are in the green zone that also have a strong bullish or bullish rating. And also, what was the other criteria? That have a decent business quality score as our example. And I chose the entry signal as my screener search because the first 2 VQ moves, so the first 2 VQ moves higher is typically the easiest move to achieve. And you can see trend reversals if the price has risen by 5 VQs or more. So 5 times whatever its VQ is, in this case, about 19%. So as a general guideline, buying and adding to a position that has already increased by 5 VQs becomes a little bit more riskier, right? Because we don't want to see a trend reversal, right? As soon as you get into the trade. So I like to incorporate this into my screeners as well. But we can play around with the screener filters at the end of the presentation. Now, if you get into the trade after a security has risen by 2 VQ, then on average, you have 3 VQ moves left to the upside. All right, so next we have the trend. Medtronic has been trending up for about 1 month. Its VQ again is medium risk at about 19%. And we're seeing that it's also in our valley. Now, this pertains to our timing by Tradesmith program. It is in a short-term valley turn area, which indicates that prices are projected to move higher within that displayed date range. Now, just want to make a note here that the valley and peak indicators, again, are available to timing by Tradesmith, Tradesmith Essentials, and Tradesmith Platinum accounts. And then we have the business quality score. It's in the 78th percentile. And the BQS score, or business quality score, is going to consider fundamentals like growth, payout, profitability, and safety. And so we'll look at those in more detail here. But now we need to know how to access this detail. So again, I can click the left or right arrows. It doesn't matter which, and it takes us back to that speedometer. I can click on the detailed overview tab here at the very top. I just want to make sure you all can see it. It's right there at the top of the speedometer. So we'll click that link and you're going to see a lot of information on this page, right? So we're going to go step by step here. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on our algorithms, but I'm going to summarize what we're doing here. So each stock is rated along several dimensions. I'll scroll back down so you can see them at the bottom of the page. Fundamentals, right? We're looking at the Tradesmith Billionaires Club, institutional investors, your newsletters. We're looking at several technical indicators and the BQS score. Now, a weighted average of the score is computed with the overall rating, right? Either from strong bearish to strong bullish. We actually assign 50% weight to the BQS, with the remaining 50% distributed equally among the fundamental and technical. So 25%, 25%, 50% here for the BQS. So let's look at the widgets contained within this page. At the very top, you're going to see the stock rating and allocation, right? You've seen this. The stock rating is what you see at the top of the position card page or analyzer page. The rating allocation here, this you may not have seen. This compiles the percentages of bullish and bearish ratings obtained from the indicators below. Now, I wanted to point this out because the strong bullish percentage actually increased since my screenshot that I took on May 22nd. So it went up from 12.5% there to about 18, 19%. So it increased by about 6% as of May 30th. And then we can also look at the stock rating over time. So I can go back to, let's say, a 1 year and review this information. Now, the most recent, if we're looking at this little line graph here, this color graph that indicates the rating, you'll see the most recent bearish rating was back in December 25th, December 26th, looks like. So it's interesting to review the price chart for Medtronic around this time. So let me just take you on a little side tour. Let me duplicate this. I like to dig through and look at the information. So why was it rated, again, why was it rated bearish at this time? So I duplicated the tab. I'm going to search for MDT here at the top navigational header. And I want to look at the chart. I want to see what was going on around that time. So I'm going to go back on the chart to when it was stopped out. All right, so here we are. So Medtronic was stopped out on November 30th, 2021. So MDT was at its lowest price. Let's see, where is that? December. Here, if you look around December 12th, it was at its lowest price. So this underperformance, and then I was wondering why. So then I went to the news tab here, along with some Google searching, and I was trying to discover why was at its lowest price. So this underperformance can be attributed to Medtronic's faulty Mini-Med 600 insulin pumps. I don't know if anyone's heard about this, but MDT stock fell over 6% in a single trading session on December 15th, 2022, when the company made the FDA's letter citing Medtronic's inadequacy of medical devices public. So that obviously made the price drop. Now, I bring this fact up because this event is reflected in price action and our indicators. So if we hop back, it's all reflected here within the indicators. Now let's check out the fundamental and technical indicators used in assessing the overall stock rating, right? So here we are. We'll start with the fundamentals. The Tradesmith Billionaires Club and institutional investors. Now we're tracking the reported U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC 13F filings for our list of hedge funds and billionaires. So right now we're tracking 27 billionaires within the billionaires tab of the My Gurus page. And you can click on this number link, right, where it says 1/1,855, and it breaks it down for you. So you'll see Barrow, Hanley, Mewini, and Strauss LLC holds approximately 6 million shares of Medtronics. So the 100% that you're seeing here, you see that, folks? That 100% means that of the 27 billionaires we track, Barrow, Hanley, Mewini, and Strauss LLC hold approximately 100% of the MDT shares. You can also look at institutional investors, right? That expands outside of our 27 billionaires to include other large organizations such as banks, mutual funds, pension funds, and insurance companies that make a substantial investment in the stock market. Institutional investors buy and sell huge blocks of stocks, bonds, and other securities, and they're considered the whales on Wall Street. So these institutional investors can create supply and demand imbalances that result in huge price movements. So this is some interesting information to review as well. So according to our statistical analysis, Medtronic is rated strong bullish for the Billionaires Club and institutional investors. And then you also have the newsletters piece. So as you know, we work with numerous newsletter publishers from the US, the UK, and Australia. That newsletter link will display the number of newsletters that match the security as part of your active subscription. However, when we designate the rating for newsletters, we're considering all the newsletter affiliates. So, and it's about 18 total, I believe. So not having all the newsletter subscriptions does not hinder you from this information. That link just simply pulls up your active subscriptions that match that particular security. All right, let's go ahead and close that. And then let's check out the technicals. So right there at the top, you see health. Now this pertains to our health indicator. If the stock is in the green zone, it's going to be given a strong bullish rating. If it's in the yellow zone, it gets a neutral rating. Now, if it's in the red zone and it's triggered our early entry signal, it gets a bullish rating. Our early entry signal is an aggressive entry into a stock that's currently in the red zone. So it uses part of our health indicator entry signal. But you'll see it on the chart. Sometimes you'll see an orange E bubble, right? That's our early entry signal. And if it's in the red zone and it has not triggered our early entry signal, then it's a strong bearish. Then we have our trend, right? So we know that Medtronic is in an uptrend, it gets a bullish rating. If it's trending sideways, it's neutral. And if it's trending down, it gets a bearish rating. Medtronic falls under our healthcare sector. So to determine the score, the sector score, we're incorporating our bullseye and bear's eye signals, which is part of Ideas by Tradesmith. And we look at the current health of the sector and its health distribution. So I'll jump back to our secondary tab here, and I'll go to markets just to show you what I'm talking about. From the markets page, I can click on S&P sectors, and I can review let's take it to a list view. So on the upper right, I'm just going to change it to list. It just seems easier to see everything at one shot here. And then our healthcare. So you can review that information there. The health distribution is the percentage of stocks in each index or sector in the green, yellow, and red zones. So we want to see a higher percentage of green zone stocks. So if the sector is in the green or yellow zone with an active bullseye signal, then it's going to get strong bearish. So Medtronics, the healthcare sector, is in the red zone, but it does have an active bullseye signal, so it does get a bullish. Now, before you ask, because I know it's coming, the bullseye and bear's eye signal is working behind the scenes. It does help determine the rating for a given sector, but you're not going to see this information. So this is incorporated already into the algorithm. You're only going to be notified if you are an Ideas by Tradesmith member, you've got Trade 360 or your Tradesmith Essentials or a Platinum member. You are going to be notified when any of the major indexes that we're tracking, those are located here, trigger our bullseye or bear's eye signal. And you'll be able to also see that information there. All right. Again, though, this information is working behind the scenes within the algorithm itself. All right. And then we are up to timing. So our time cycle analysis determines if a security is in a current or upcoming peak or valley. And so the timing indicator bases its score according to the conviction level for the peak or that valley. So the higher the conviction level, the higher the probability of the turn. So strong bullish score means that a valley or peak has medium, high, or very high conviction. So we assessed here that we're in a valley and it has a medium or higher conviction level. You can refer to the script for the specific details or breakdown of each of these technical indicators. Then we're up to strategies. We offer numerous investment strategies across multiple products. So the more a stock qualifies for the strategies, the higher the conviction on each of those strategy signals, the better it's likely to perform as well. So Medtronic matches 3 of our strategies. I can click that link there and it tells us best of the billionaires, dividend growers, and growth. So it gets a bullish score. So if a stock matches 40% or more of the Tradesmith strategies, it's strong bullish. So this one matches just less than 40% of the Tradesmith strategy, so it gets a bullish rating. Still pretty good, right? And last but certainly not least, we have our relative strength index, which, if you're not familiar with this, it's a momentum indicator that measures the magnitude of recent price changes to evaluate if a stock is overbought or oversold. Now, we're looking at this a little bit differently. Typically, oversold is below 30%, right? So that means the security is undervalued or cheap. Maybe we'll see a trend reversal to the upside. But we're looking at how the price has been moving. And in this case, it's actually last week when I looked at it, it was about 60%. And now today it's at about 29%. So if the RSI rises from about 30 to 50 or above, that's a bullish sign that the stock is growing. If the stock's RSI moves below 50%, that's a bearish sign. So it moved from about 60. That was around May 22nd. When I looked at it, it was about 60%. And now it's at about 29. So it gets a bearish score. All right. So that is bearish. Now, the moment we have all been waiting for, right? The infamous business quality score, right? Which brings the all together with the fundamentals of the company. So we have growth, payout, profitability, and safety. And these have been implemented to determine the fundamental analysis of the company. And these factors can help you find high quality stocks with more stable earnings, stronger balance sheets, and higher profit margins that tend to outperform low quality stocks over the long term. So as investors, we want to buy high quality stocks without paying too high of a price. So now not every stock is going to have a BQS. You may have noticed in searching that some stocks don't have a score. So they must meet the following criteria. They're going to be US traded common stocks or American Depository Receipts or ADRs. They must have a market capitalization greater than 1 million, and their volume has to be an average daily volume greater than 1 million. So once they qualify for those, then they will get a score. So in today's presentation script, I've detailed each of these factors along with what we're looking at to calculate or to determine each of these factors. For example, with the growth, right, this is capturing the company's growth prospects using historical sales and earnings data, plus return on equity and assets, cash flow and profit margins. So it measures the growth or improvement of a company's profitability over the past 5 years. The payout, this helps us see how much a company's earnings are given back to shareholders. So we look at the amount of debt and equity issued, plus the amount of stock buybacks and debt paid back to creditors. With profitability, this is measuring a company's profit relative to its assets, sales, and shareholders' equities. So in other words, we want to know how much the company earns compared to its size. And it's looking at the same metrics that growth is looking at. However, the difference is that growth is looking at this over a 5-year time period. Again, you can refer to today's script for more details. Then we have safety, which is considering both the stock's volatility compared to the stock market overall, and key safety measures, including, stocks with low debt, consistent profitability, and low credit risk. All right. So now that we've reviewed this, let's take a look at some commonly asked member questions. And the first one is, why is my position rated bullish, but it's in the red zone? Does anyone have a stock that's in the red zone that's rated bullish? You may see this. So as you have learned, the health indicator is one of many technical and fundamental indicators used to provide an overall stock rating. If the health indicator is your primary entry and exit strategy, then you're not going to use the stock rating system alone to help you decide if you're going to enter the trade. The first item on your stock entry checklist is that the stock is in the green zone. So you would not enter a trade if the stock is in the red zone, regardless of whether or not it receives a bullish stock rating. You've got to refer to your trade plan. What are your stock entry requirements? Consider each fundamental and technical indicator by itself. Now, you may place a higher value on the technical or fundamental indicator. So you have to decide which, you're going to place a higher value on. There may be instances where a company's, for example, BQS score is high, which means the company's fundamentals are good. However, maybe the technicals are weak. So these are things that you need to consider and decide, what's important to you. If you have the technicals and the fundamentals both aligning, That's an excellent odds enhancer, right? I think we would all want companies with strong technicals and fundamentals, which we are going to find together. So there is a way, right? The next question, how do I determine the overall stock rating of a portfolio? So this is a fantastic question. So from here, all we need to do is go to the dashboard at the top navigational header. And you can scroll down until we bump into this section here where it's asking you to select a portfolio. So you can select one or more portfolios. And then it provides you within this portfolio distribution widget, the rating for your positions, right? So the overall breakdown of the stock rating. Next question before we go to the stock screener tool is, how often do you update ratings? The fundamentals like the Tradesmith Billionaires Club and institutional investors and the technicals, we update that once per day, but the BQS scores are updated once per month, right? Because some of these are fundamental data points that we don't receive daily or are updated daily. So those will be updated once per month. Now let's find some potential opportunities with the help of the screener tool. So from here, we're going to go to invest at the top navigational header, and then we'll select the screener tab below. Now you can use the ratings filter to help you find bullish opportunities. I want to reference Mike Bernick's recent article, Meet the Small Cap Supercharger, and look for stocks list we've created for you. So I've included the link in today's presentation, so you can find it there. But he mentions that quality stocks have durable business models, right, with sustainable competitive advantages. Now, these stocks typically have higher profits, stable earnings, and little or no debt. That's what we're looking for. He also provides an interesting report by Professor Robert Novi-Marx, and it's called Quality Investing. I've included the link for you as well, so you can refer to the script. So in this paper, Robert looked at large cap and small cap companies, and then he sorted them by various measures of quality and value. This might be of interest to you, Ed. You were looking at value. So to make a long story short, he concluded that quality stocks with consistently strong profitability beat the market by a 5-to-1 margin. And this was going back from 1965 to 2011. That's like astronomical. And he ran the same numbers on high quality small cap companies. And he found that high quality small cap stocks outperformed large cap stocks by about 15-to-1 margin. Mike further mentions that investing in small cap stocks can provide a huge competitive advantage over Wall Street, primarily focusing on those large cap stocks like Apple. So we're going to use the filters that Mike used in his article. Again, the link is referenced in today's presentation script. So we're going to click Create New Screener here at the top. And I'm going to select this Manage Filters link, and we're going to set this up. So he incorporates health status, trend. I'm going to uncheck some of these as I go. Market capitalization. He likes to incorporate the cycle turn area. And we're going to also include the business quality score. So we'll work on this. Now you'll notice that I didn't select the ratings filter. You can add this filter and choose bullish and strong bullish. However, when we look at our results, you're going to see that that information is automatically displayed without needing to filter for it. You can if you want to specifically search for strong bullish and bullish, but I'll show you, I don't know if it's entirely necessary. All right. So we've got this. All right. This is what Mike selected for his run on the small caps. Now we just hit the save and close and we'll set our parameters. So for health status, we're choosing green zone, right? These are the healthiest stocks according to our health indicator. We can select trending up and sideways. You can choose stocks that are already moving in the right direction. Stocks trending sideways may be in a period of correction. However, overall, they're still moving in the right direction. They have not been stopped out per the health indicator. For market capitalization, Mike chose micro cap and small cap just to, widen up our results. For the cycle turn area, we are going to select upcoming valley and valley. You can narrow down your results to stocks in a valley or upcoming valley, which indicate the stock prices are likely to move soon, right? Move higher. And for the BQS, in Mike's article, he has more than 75. So Mike chose a BQS of 75 or better to narrow the list to the top 25% of small and micro cap stocks. All right, so these are the filters. Take a moment here to take a screenshot if you like. Once you've got your filters, we're going to hit the run screener button below. And we'll see what we get, folks. All right, so I got more results this time around than I did last week. We can actually sort by the highest BQS in descending order. So let me show you. Again, the ratings column is already listed here. That's just to the left or right of the ticker. But where's that BQS? So I need to scroll all the way to the right. And I can sort BQS just simply by clicking on the column header. So I can bring the highest BQS scores to the top of the list. And then we can scroll back here to the left and review the stocks within that list. Now, from here, again, you can sort these columns of information by anything that is important to you. So we've got some here that we can review together as well. All right, so for the first one here, Evolution Pete, I'm not familiar with that. It gets a strong bullish. Health indicator, it's in the green zone. The VQ might be a little high for some. Let's see, volume is good. It's got a pretty high trailing dividend yield of 5.76%. So it might be of interest to look at. It falls under two of my newsletters, Investor Place Media, and matches one of our strategies, our Money Movers Up. Okay, so Money Movers Up. Money Movers looks at institutional buying and selling. So it's indicating a potential opportunity for a buy there. All right, so from here, what do we do? Well, you can save your results. I can click this box here to the left of the ticker column. It puts a check mark on all of these tickers. I can then save this as a new basket or a portfolio. I can even save it to an existing portfolio. If you don't have access to trade stops where you can track portfolios, you can also print and export that information. So no worries there. Or we can also save this. So if I want to come back and rerun the same filters without having to redo this all the time, I can just hit save as new, and then I can name it. So we'll title it Mike's Small Cap Supercharger. You can add some notes if you want under the description column to help you recall this particular screener. You don't have to save the filters because the program will save it for you. So let me show you. I'll just hit save my search. I can then go back to the home page of the tool. And there is Mike's Small Cap Supercharger. It retains the filters, right? So we don't have to memorize all that. And then I can click back on the filter name and rerun the screener as well. If you make any changes, maybe you decide, you know what, I don't want microcap, or you want to add another filter, you can. So for example, I can uncheck microcap and I can hit save changes. So you don't have to redo it in that case, right? So nice feature that recently came about. All right, so let's wrap up our discussion here and review just how you can set up the ratings and the BQS within your Tradesmith Finance position views. So we just need to go to My Portfolios. You'll go to the Manage tab and you can select your portfolio. Once you're on the Positions tab, you can open up the view. I'm just on the default view. I'll click the little white edit pencil and you'll see under the Tradesmith indicators, you have the rating, and where's business quality score is up here at the top. Looks like they just have that alphabetized there. So you can select that as well. I'll select BQS, and then I've got to scroll down, and then all the way to the right. Anytime you add a column, it adds it to the far right. So you can move it just by, with your mouse, left click and hold, and then you drag it to where you would like it. Let go, and it pops it in between any column there. You may have to go a few rounds here to where you want it to go. Again, left click and hold, and then drag, and then let it go, and then you can hit save. All right, so that is a wrap on today's lesson. So let's just quickly recap here. Today, we learned how Ratings by Tradesmith can provide us, I'll click here on Alibaba, with the overall stock rating of any particular stock according to our fundamentals and technicals, right? Here, Alibaba gets a bullish rating. You can search for US and foreign stocks, right? You can go to the search for ticker and do the same. We found bullish opportunities for small cap and micro cap stocks by going to Invest and Screener. We also incorporated other filters like a business quality of score of more than 75, health status green zone trending up or sideways. If you want to track stock ratings on your position views, you saw that you can easily add ratings and the BQS filters to your position views. Please, please remember that Ratings by Tradesmith provides the overall stock rating, but it does not replace your exit strategy. The health indicator is one of many technical indicators that provides an overall stock rating. If the health indicator is your entry and exit strategy, you're only going to enter trades in the green zone. If those stocks were rated bullish or strong bullish in the green zone, well, that just sweetens the odds, right? All right, let me pull up the Contact Us and then we'll stick around for some additional questions. One moment, please. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact our dedicated customer success team. I hope that you have a better understanding of how our stock rating system works. On Monday, June 5th, Kristen will show you how to use the Analyze Portfolio tab. She's going to show you how to review the health and overall performance of your portfolios. All members are welcome to attend regardless of your subscription level. Please feel free to register even if you can't make it. That way we send you the webinar recording if you register to attend. And if we have a question that we were unable to get to today, keep in mind, just send it to support@tradesmith.com. Put it to attention to Marina and we'll get to your questions. Thanks again for joining us and letting us be a part of your educational journey. Until next time, bye. Alrighty, folks, back with you.
Hey.
Hey.
All right. Yeah, we got some good questions. Yeah. So some people did use the Q&A, which is totally fine. Just those, I guess, won't go with the chat. But we had, oh, you got some hearts floating on the side. I love that
how
feature.
sweet.
Can you, yeah, they're really cute. All right, so let me go back up to the top. So we just get some questions from several customers. If you could just please review the valley indicator again and where like one can view the length of the time the stock is in like a peak or valley.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you have another stock in mind? Well, for now, I'll look at MDT again, and if anyone wants to look at a particular stock in mind, we can do that too. So let me just go back to where I have my breakdown of the timing indicator. All right. So to review the indicators, right? We have the speedometer. I don't know if that's the default. I think it is the default if you change it, but I think generally what you're going to see first are these indicators. So if you have access to the timing indicators, you will see here, this is based on the short term or the composite cycle. And here we're assessing that Medtronic is in a valley or bottom turn area till about mid-June, right? And it's a medium conviction. That's why it has a strong bullish rating. Now you can incorporate the timing on your chart as well. If I'm on the chart tab to the very far left, I can open up my chart settings. And I can review the composite cycle. That's the purple squiggly line, right, that you see. And there's the composite cycle. So it's going to the composite cycle. This might be more information than you need, but this composite cycle is going to represent the shortest time cycle that's available for this given security. Let me just make sure that that is the case here. Middle term, this should match, right? So if I change this also to middle term, we won't see much of a change there. There. So the composite is matching whatever is the shortest term cycle that you see. And that represents 41 to 100 trading days. So we have this valley turn area that goes till about mid-June. So we should, you know, if it all works out right, then we'll be seeing prices moving higher from this within this turn area range. All right, we tracking from here. I got a thumbs up on that. And then, of course, we can then go to our left or right arrows. And if we want to look at a detailed overview, we can come back here and review what we're assessing based on what I just showed you, what type of a score it gets. So again, those that have a medium or higher conviction are going to be given a stronger rating. So in this case, we have a strong bullish for Medtronic.
Perfect. Do we know, Janet would like to know, do we know or have the data that's used to determine like the conviction for the timing, the conviction levels?
That's a good question, Janet. Generally speaking, the more cycles that tell the same story or that match that you know, that match, generally it'll be higher, but I don't have specifics on the algorithm for that.
Perfect. Let me go back to my little list I was compiling. All right, so Larry, I think, or Lori, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. The spelling's different. My dad's name is Larry and it's spelled different. So he or she says, trade alerts often will have changes. For example, strong bullish to bullish or vice versa, almost daily, and sometimes two changes on the same day. With this volatility and changes, how do we use the rating system to our advantage?
So we're talking about stocks that we already own, correct? So let's say you have, you know, you've got your portfolio, your investment portfolio, and you get an alert that says one of your positions went from bullish to neutral. And you're wondering, okay, now what? Well, you don't do anything. All right. Sit on your hands.
Sit on your hands.
Sit on your hands. So remember, the health indicator is your exit strategy. Don't let your emotions drive you to make any rash decisions. As long as you have your exit strategy in place, then you're okay. It's interesting information, right? You could see, why is it going into the neutral? You know, what's happened? Maybe you can come in here and review what's going on. Are the technicals, are we starting to show some weakness in the technicals, in the fundamentals? Could we perhaps also come back here to review some news? Maybe something interesting happened in the news, right? So now we start keeping eagle eyes, I would say, all right? Don't rush to make any decisions, but now the eagle eyes come out, right? And now we're trying to investigate. Why is it going from bullish to neutral? What happened within a certain span of time? Some bad news, technicals, right? And so that's what I would do. Again, I wouldn't rush to make any split decisions. Now, let's say you've got a watch list and you're waiting for the stock to go into the green zone, and it just so happens that it triggers the green zone and it's rated bullish or strong bullish. Well, then eureka, right? Because now, baby, I'm going to place that trade. So you have to decide kind of like what is part of your trade plan. For me, if the stock is not in the green zone, I go on to the next one. I'm very picky on my selection. And then I'm also looking at a high BQS, 75 or greater. Generally, if it's in the green zone, trending up and it's got a high BQS, most likely it's going to be bullish or strong bullish.
Perfect.
But that's my take. Again, I'm not trying to give you any particular advice, because you have to decide, what information is most important to you. But it's interesting bit of information. I don't put too much credence into it when I'm looking at it. If I notice that, 1 week it was bullish and then it jumps from bullish to neutral or bearish, then I'm like, my interest is piqued, right? And then I'm wondering why. And then I come into the site and I investigate. That's all.
Yeah, me too. I'm kind of the same way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Can you show, well, let me get to Kay's question, and then Robert, I'll have her show you the help menu where you can access the recordings.
Okay.
But Kay had a question. So Kay said over the 3-day weekend, she did a deep dive with the rating system to analyze about 40 of her stocks. She sold 20 of them this morning to streamline her portfolio. The rating system is a great analyst to do this. Her question is, how can the RSI fluctuate over a holiday weekend when the market is closed? I see this happen several times, when the market's closed, and I never noticed that. Did you, where it fluctuates, the RSI? Would it fluctuate over a holiday weekend?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. And if anyone wants to chime in, I know there's after hours sessions, right? When the market is closed, but there's still trading going on. Now, I don't know like how that works when we have a holiday going on. But even when the markets are closed, there's still trading. You and I are not trading, but I believe there's still after hour market trading. And then, you can also consider that the United States we might be on a holiday, right? But the rest of the world is not.
Yeah, exchanges, yeah. Yeah, because she
Um,
found some bullish stocks with bearish RSI, so she just found it interesting. So she just want to let us know.
that might be a good question for Mike Bernick.
Yeah,
He has more experience to
I'll
answer that
copy it.
question.
Yeah, yeah, I'll
So if
ask
you
him.
want to copy that, and then we'll see what he says, and then
Sure.
we can email Kay back on that.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know when Canadian stocks are going to be rated?
Hmm. Hmm.
I know I
Well,
never.
I know, well, we do track US and foreign,
Yeah.
but maybe we have to inquire about a particular ticker. Do you have a Canadian stock in mind that we can look or reference? And then if
Let's see
we
who asked
have
that.
to, we can ask our development team about it.
Yeah, let me see who asked that.
Yeah. In the meantime, I'll read out Janet's question.
Okay.
I'm very confused by all the possibilities for exit strategies. Do any of your recordings help with making a decision on exit strategy? Yes. So actually, there are not that many exit strategies. The health indicator is our most conservative of entry and exit strategies. If you want to invest in a stock that's in the red zone, you can implement our VQ percent trailing stop, which is a trailing stop that is essentially using the stock's risk right here as a customized trailing stop. You can also set up a price alert if you want to exit at a certain price target, right? But there's really not that many exit strategies. I know there's a lot of information that may get kind of confused. There's a lot of I don't want to say noise, but there is a lot of information thrown at you here. And if you're a platinum member, you've got even more information to consider. That's why I stress the importance of having a trade plan and specifically setting up criteria, like what's your checklist for entry, and go from there. But Kristen has a webinar that she did. If we go to help boot camps and then we go to beginner lessons, she has one on, is it under this one, add and manage your alerts, or where you talk about, you're muted, Kristen.
The risk and health indicators above it.
Okay, so we have this one here.
And you can do alerts too. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you talk about the different alerts?
Yeah.
Like, okay. So
Yep.
maybe check out understanding our health and risk risk indicators, and then add and manage your alerts.
And Robert, so that's what Robert's question is, where you can access the previous recordings, and that's where you go, where Maureen is at. And yes, the Q&A sessions are included in the recordings, Robert.
Yes. They are all included. Well, Janet, so you've seen those, that's not what you need. Why don't you shoot me an email and let me know, give me some more details about what's going on and what your questions are. And then I can give you some more information and some guidance
Yeah.
that the CS team may not be able to do. I can give you some more specific details. Okay, depending on what you're trying to do, and we'll go from there.
Perfect. Just to break the ice a little bit, because a lot of people are asking, how did your meeting go about the kids that you want to adopt?
Oh,
Remember you had that meeting and your last webinar?
yes.
Yeah.
So the meeting went very well. We are definitely approved. Everything is full steam ahead. The only thing we're just not sure is when we're going to pick up the kiddos. So they broke for their spring or their summer vacation. Now they're in summer vacation. And we're hoping, mid-June. So this is actually the last boot camp that I'm hosting right now until I come back. So I'll be out for 8 weeks. I'm not leaving you folks. This is just some bonding time with the kiddos, but I'm going to probably record a little video and post it on the site just so anyone who's not here on on our call or is not aware what's going on, you'll be able to see that what's going on in our family. So my husband and I are growing our family.
Yeah,
And,
exciting.
hopefully we'll be picking them up mid-June.
I'm sure they're excited as well.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for asking.
Yeah, it's awesome. The Patricia does have a Canadian solar stock. Do you want to look? Do you have time to look that up
Yeah.
really? Okay. CSIQ.
All right, Canadian Solar. Yeah, so this one has a ratings. Now, does it have a BQS? It does not have a BQS. So the criteria, oh, I see. The BQS is what may not be foreign stocks. Right? Because with the BQS, they have to have that following criteria. They are US stocks or ADRs. So that's US traded common stocks. So that's a good question to ask our development team. If you would, my dear,
Yeah.
copy that question with the name.
Okay, got it.
So I can inquire and then email them back and let them know.
Okay.
I haven't heard of any talks about expanding this right now. You know, with the, I think, you know, with the fundamental data, I don't know, how that works as far as getting you know, the fundamental data for foreign stocks. I don't know if it's a data provider issue or if, you know.
Yeah. Who was it that asked? I think it was Chris or someone asked, they heard you say something about the market cap, something was like 110 million or something. Let me go back. Hold on one second.
Yeah, so market cap is going to be greater than 100 million.
Okay. They thought you said 10 million. So that's where that probably, so they thought they heard 10 million, but it was really 100 million, right?
100 million. And, but that's not the reason why we don't have the BQS. You know, it's because it's not a US stock. But wait a minute. It's traded on the NASDAQ.
Yeah, I think this is different. My camera is acting weird. It's going on and off. I think this is different. They heard you when you were going over like the ratings. Douglas, I was looking for him. He said market cap of at least 1 million, just off topic. Like,
Oh, it's probably the volume.
Okay, so that's the market cap. Okay.
Yeah, the average daily volume has to be greater than 1 million. Yeah, because this is a US stock, right? It's traded on the NASDAQ. I mean, it might be a Canadian company, but it's not traded on a Canadian exchange. Right, Graham? So, I believe the reason why it's not, or it does not have a BQS is the average daily volume. I could be wrong, but that's what it based on. So the requirements are US traded common stock or ADR, market cap of greater than 1 million, and then average daily volume of greater than 1 million. I mean, 100 million for market cap, greater than 1 million for average daily volume.
Mm-hmm.
So we have volume of not 1 million.
Okay. All right. Douglas, I'll follow up with you because I just wrote down, this was big in the middle of your presentation. He said, did I hear Marina say hold on. Okay. Did I hear Marina say market cap of at least 1 million with a bunch of question marks? And that was like at 127. So I asked him for more clarification, but I can always follow up with them too to see what he meant.
Yeah, market cap is for BQS. This is for the BQS. In order to get a BQS score, it has to have a market cap of greater than 100 million. And the average daily volume greater than 1 million. It's in your script. So you can check out the script as well.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay, so everything's good on the chat part. Let me just make sure we got through
My
that.
apologies if I misspoke.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I didn't think to reference the scripts because the chats were going. We have one more from Patricia. Are TradeSmith entry and exit points, do they vary from short trades to long hold trades? Yeah.
What was the question?
The exit strategies, she's asking, would the entry and exit points, from TradeSmith, trade stops, or TradeSmith, will they vary if it's a short trade versus a long hold trade stock? Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, right? Because if you're going short, you're you want price to drop, and so your stop will be above current price, your protective stop, right? Because if price goes in the direction you're not anticipating, then you're getting out. So, oh, well, thank you, Mike. I'm gonna miss you all too.
Yeah.
It won't be long. 2 months will
Yeah.
fly by.
No.
Fly by, and then Kristen here will be holding
Stuck
down
with me.
I will be touching base with Kristen once a week though, and just seeing how everything's going and helping her out.
Yeah. She's not leaving me all alone. She's in the background kind of. All right, Douglas, good. Okay. So he just might have heard.
It might have been my slip too, Douglas. I don't know. Looking at these numbers, I may have had like a
it's a lot to look at.
Dyslexic moment or something and mixed it up, but its market cap is greater than 100 million and average daily volume is greater than 1 million.
Yeah.
So.
And that's all the questions. Oh, Robert asked, yeah, that's all. Yeah, Robert asked there's some services. Are we ever going to think about doing live sessions during market hours? Would we ever provide such a feature? That's what we're doing now. Is it market hours? Or like for trading advice? Yeah,
so we don't currently show live trading data. I imagine if we did, that might be a nice tool, right? Where we could do like live trading. That would be fun. Yeah, it wouldn't be most likely through me. That would be probably with one of the gurus that's maybe directing trades or recommending trades. That might be a really neat opportunity, but we first have to show live trading data.
Yeah.
But that's something to look forward to,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be a nice touch. Yeah. Because it's nice when you and Mike do it and you show like the options, when you go to your options accounts or when Jason showing. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, that might be a nice suggestion for our gurus for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions before we close shop?
Nope, we're good. Unless I missed any of you guys, but I think I got everything. So speak now or forever hold your breath.
Yeah. So I appreciate everyone's kind words. I'm going to miss everyone. Please know that I'll be thinking of all of you. And, I will be back and we'll pick up where we left. And again, I'm not leaving you. I'm just going to go on a little bonding time with couple of kiddos my husband and I are adopting. So we're super excited for this endeavor of ours. And, you
have to show some family pictures when you come back. I think
when I come back, I'll show some family pics. But everyone have a good rest of your weekend or weekend. Get out, get some fresh air, and we'll see you on the flip side there. All right. Bye, folks.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.